I said in my previous video that as you grow up as a firstborn, as the first child of a family, that when your father buys 5 toothbrushes for the 5 kids in the house, they call you to come choose first, to select your own first. When they dish plates of food, they ask you to carry your own first before any other person carries. When you are eating with your siblings, you are the one who is supposed to share the meats for every other person. Take your own and give them their own. Inasmuch as this endows in you a sense of responsibility for the well-being of your younger ones, it also has its disadvantages. The disadvantage is that some way, somehow, that's leverage as the firstborn tricks us into believing that life must treat us with same preferences. So you notice that the firstborns are always the calm ones. In fact, if there is agitation in the family, the father expects that the firstborn must understand their plight and convince the other people to follow the will of the parents. So the firstborns become calm in life. They become reserved somehow. And even in real life experiences where they are supposed to struggle for things, go after things, be forward when chasing something, they become relaxed. Because some way they feel like life will go the way it has always been in the nuclear family. They feel like life should treat them way better. I deserve some respect. I am not supposed to be like my younger ones, to be running out, to be doing all of those. No, let me just be calm. Life will go. Secondly, as a firstborn, you mostly do not have someone you look up to as an elder brother or elder sister. So some way, somehow, you would have to do so that your younger ones will watch and follow through. Now, because you find yourself in this vacuum, in this space where you don't have anybody you look up to, anybody that is a standard to you, obviously you cannot take your parents as standards because the generations are different. There's always a paradigm shift in how we do things every 10 years. So things are different now with you. So because your younger ones will always look up, if there is something that is wrong in the family among your younger ones, your parents will always point the fingers at you. You have the responsibility to. So you cannot tell your brother that they should not play football in the parlor. So you cannot tell your brother that they should not warm the soup. So you this, you that. So some way, somehow, you tend to want to live life as though you would have to be first in everything. You have to set the pace for your younger ones to follow. So you notice that most firstborns, what happens is the firstborn is maybe 2 years older than the younger one, and he's in JS1. The younger one is in primary 5. Then they go, he's now in JS3. The younger one is in JS1. You follow what I'm saying? He's in JS1. So the parents will keep saying, now your younger brother don't they grow, your younger brother don't they come. You have to be serious. Look at what your younger brother had in the previous exam. Look at what you had. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this pressure, some way, somehow, forces the firstborn to want to take the faster route so that he can prove to his parents and every other person within the society that he must be first in everything. And I believe that competition is only fair if we start with the same resources at the same time, under the same circumstances and situations. However, the firstborns neglect these things, these factors, and they want to be faster in life. Now, you can be in your family and your younger brother or your younger sister or the secondborn has started making some small cash. So your parents will start saying, see your younger brother, you know they make money, and you still there, you just there inside house. Even if you are struggling, even if you are doing your best. So now this forces the firstborn to want to take the faster route. So you begin to notice that over time, the firstborn leaves the house. If you notice, the firstborn will always leave the house. And he feels that somewhere in his head, he can always find his way around things. Most of the other members of the family do not always understand what the firstborn truly does in most families. And because you have been saddled with that sense of responsibility to be the strong one in the family, to be the one who encourages others, you are not allowed to display your weakness to your parents or to your younger ones. So even when your parents call you on the phone as the firstborn and they say, how far? How Lagos? You say, Mommy, everything is fine. Because you were brought up to embrace empathy in the house, to be the understanding one, to be the calm one. So you do not want your parents to feel the pressure or the impact of the things you go through in real life. So most firstborns will always shield that thing they are going through. How is life? Their life is fine, Daddy. Everything is okay. And in fact, I'm actually enjoying, because they are scared that if I tell my parents now that life is not going on well, maybe hypertension will kill them. Maybe they no go feel live well. Maybe they no go they happy. They go they depressed. All their mental health coach, their mental health will go down. So this destroys most firstborns. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Because the firstborn goes through a lot of hustles, a lot of pressure to make it in life, and does not open up to his parents because he does not want them to feel that pressure too at home. He encounters a lot of setbacks. But the second-born, in most cases, they are the real ones. They come home, how is school? I never see food chop for the past 2 weeks, and they ask me, how is school? I don't understand. You understand that kind of thing? Now, because he's saying that, the parents will do whatever it takes to make sure they make his life comfortable, because he's real. But the firstborn is some way, somehow, just shielding all of the obstacles he's going through. And even when his life is going backwards, he cannot tell his parents, because they have painted that picture of you must be the pace-setter. You must be the one that everybody look up to. You must not be found with fault. You must be infallible. So he tries to assume that role. No human being is perfect, whether you are firstborn or lastborn or in between. You now begin to notice that over time, with the little effort that the parents put more effort into the second, most of the time, the second begins to grow gradually. He has finished secondary school. He has entered university. He is finishing university. The firstborn now begins to notice that the second one or the third people, they are growing fast. So he begins to try alternative routes to make sure he can meet up as fast as possible. I mean, the end point in our African societal setting is that get money. That is it. Get money so that we follow support for house. So the firstborn now begins to try. So you begin to notice that most firstborns, they try a lot of things. He can put his hand into bunkery. He can put his hand into any form fraud whatsoever, just so that he wants to meet up with the younger ones. And so when something goes wrong with what he's doing, because he does not have adequate guidance, he does not open up to his parents, he does not open up to anybody, he does not have anybody he talks to. When something happens, it takes him 5 years backwards. And then he has to start again. Now, as he's coming backwards 5 years, he will have to do extra to make sure he meets up. So he goes into another thing. And at this point, when he's struggling with all of these things, when you call him and ask him, how is it going? What is happening? He says, I know what I'm doing. It's okay, it's fine, it's fine. He has his thoughts in his head. I mean, let me use myself as an example. Yes, as a case study. As I was growing up, I had my younger brother, Don Saint. I'm just 1 year, 3 months older than him. So we started growing up together. I mean, at a young age, we were more like twins. And my parents will always say, remember, you are the firstborn. You are the firstborn. Your younger ones are looking up to you. You have to prove to them that you are the firstborn. You have to be the first to enter primary school. You have to be the first to enter secondary school. You have to be the first to enter the university. You have to be the first graduate of the family. You have to be the first to get a job. You have to be the first to start contributing money in the house. You have to be the first to marry. You have to be the first to have children. You have to be the first in everything. This mental pressure alone caused some form of competition between myself and my younger brother. So, I wrote junior WAEC 3 times. And my younger brother was writing junior WAEC when I was writing junior WAEC. And to the family was like, to the society was like I was a failure already. I was now a failure. I mean, how can you be in your life and your younger brother is now writing even WAEC with you? You are no longer the first in this aspect. It was now like I was a failure already. And we went into senior WAEC. I was writing senior WAEC. My younger brother was writing senior WAEC. We went into River State Polytechnic together. He gained admission first. And I had to hustle to gain admission. Now, when we come back home after everything, and my parents will ask, how was it? He tells them how it is, as real as it can be. He tells them, I don't understand what those people are doing there. Me, you people did not give me money to be able to go and ride that thing well, so I don't know. I'm not sure I'll go. When they ask me, how is everything? I said, everything is okay. It was fine. We thank God. They said, do you need anything? No, I'm okay. But he's saying, no, he needs more money. So they give him like 5,000. And me, are you okay? Yeah, I'm okay. So they give me 2,000. Now, as we are going, first of all, my mental level state is not in the right proportion to handle that paper. But for him, he's okay. So we go into the same exam. He writes, he does well. I go into the same exam with pressure in my head, and I come out, and I'm not doing well. Now, till we got into the university, into River State Polytechnic, and everything was just going like that. I was now handling life from a pressure standpoint that I have to prove to somebody. Life is not supposed to be that way. I was living life as though it was a competition already. It's not supposed to be a competition. I had to prove that I would be first in everything. So because of that, I couldn't stand the pressure at home. See your younger brother. See your younger brother. So I decided to leave home. I decided to leave home to Lagos with hopes that, okay, at least I'll be far from home. At least I will not have this pressure again. On getting to Lagos, it was tougher than it was at home. I feel when they say step out of your comfort zone, they didn't mean pack out of your comfort zone. You could step out and return in the evening. But for most of us, we pack out. So when we pack out, we now begin to face real life experience. And our cushion base and our courage level, our confidence level has not been built to the level where you can handle some of this pressure, external pressure that comes. So you begin to see that we go negative when we go. Now, on getting to Lagos, life was difficult. I saw the true nature of life. But when they call me from home and say, how is everything? Because I'm supposed to be the firstborn, because I'm supposed to show them that I can handle my life myself, I will always say everything is fine. Then they call me and they complain about how my younger brother will come to the house and tumble the whole house, that they must look for his school fees. But I will think somewhere in my head that I have to hustle and raise school fees for myself. And some way, somehow, he had finished ND. He had finished HND. And I had not even gotten admission into the university. Because I was now thinking of how to run a small business, get money to pay my rent, run a small business, get money to start NIIT, run a small business, get money to enter Lagos State University, write JAMB again, try to see how I can manage and fend for myself without having to pass pressure onto my parents. But for him, he was not concerned about all of that. For him, he must advance in his career, in his education, and my parents must think of a way to make sure that he advances. or else he will come back to the house and sit down. But for me, I was down. Now, it is not that it's a bad thing, but it's just that I think at a very young age, I was not braced up to be able to handle that kind of pressure, that kind of life. So I try everything with inexperience, and then I will always crash back down. I try, I crash again. I try. So I had to move to Ghana. Even in Ghana, when they call and say, how is everything? At some point, I was tired of lying that everything is fine. So I stopped picking their calls. So you notice that in most families, at a certain age, the firstborn cuts away from almost everybody in the family. Nobody understands him again. How is Ona firstborn? In the Calabar, in the work with Nigerian breweries for that place. It'll be like now it's another person say, it'll be like saying they teach for one secondary school. Because nobody seems to understand the firstborn. In his head, he has told himself that I know it in I too. I know I go shock all of them. Then go hear my name. That is the beginning of failure in any man's life. When you don't have someone you can open up to, someone who can talk to you. You need help. Shout for help. It's so important. Most firstborns don't even know how to present themselves as being vulnerable in circumstances, in situations. You are the strong man. You are the strong woman. Prove to us that you are the strong one. Encourage your younger ones. So if daddy dies today, the firstborn, you are not supposed to cry anyhow. If they cry, how your younger ones go do? Now you're supposed to call your younger ones, tell them, say, no, they cry. So you are supposed to be strong. So some way, somehow, this thing leads us to our doom. You borrow money to prove to the family that you can do it. You borrow money to prove to society that you can do it. You put your hands into different sectors to make sure that you live up to that standard or their expectation. This was the lifestyle I was living. So I decided to open up to the family. I said, this is what life is. I told my younger brother, this is what it is. I told my dad, this is what it is. I told my mom, this is what it is. I'm not making it. Nothing is happening. Now, my younger brother became my best advisor. If I would count my success in life, I would want to put him as the integral part of my success in life. Because he's able to advise me from a point of self-interest first. This is our firstborn. He cannot be a disgrace to us. He cannot fail. If he fails, the thing will bounce back on me. So he tells you the truth the way it is. Senior, you don't do well for this one. If you're doing like this, if you're doing like this, or talk to this person. And some way, somehow, because I've positioned myself at the point where I am teachable, where I can learn from my younger ones, I can learn from my father, from my mom, I am able to grow rapidly. One of the best ways to make it in life is to learn how to ask for help. Learning how to ask for help is very important. Most persons don't know how to, because they feel they are all sufficient. You are self-sustaining. The moment you ask for help, people will begin to see your weakness. You don't want people to see that you are weak. You have to be the strong person. So when I started asking for help, a contact is able to move my life forward. Hey, okay, call this person. I know this person. My life moves forward. Hey, I know things they may do like this. Why not try this one? Sometimes I have big dreams with unrealistic expectations. And when I talk to them about it, they're able to say, you sure say, go calm down with this one. Try to achieve this one first before you do this one. And at this point, I'm not trying to prove to anybody because they already know what the journey looks like. There's transparency. So gradually, and I told my younger brother, I said, see, we are no longer in any competition. I'm not in competition with you. I told my parents, I don't want to be first in anything. I want to be me. I want to be able to achieve and impact the lives I can impact in this life that I am. I don't want to be first graduate. I don't want to be first to be married. I don't want to be first to build a house. I don't want to be first to give the house, to give family money. I don't want. I just want to be myself. And let me tell you the truth, I don't have. This is the level I am now. This is where I want to be in the next 3 years. If there's a way you can help me, help me. And everybody started contributing to my life, one piece by one piece. And my life started picking up. At some point, they said, okay, come back to Nigeria. If it's not working in Ghana, come back to Nigeria and start somewhere. We'll be with you. I came back to Nigeria. I came to the house. This is how I am. Nothing I carry come back. It's not a problem. Now you're our son. Start from somewhere. I started agency. When I come back home, I say, I don't need try. Nothing they happen. My parents will say, okay, I'll talk to this person so that you can go and meet him. Maybe he will teach you one or two. My brother will say, I'll give you so person's contact. I posted your this thing on my status. You understand where I'm coming from? Gradually, everybody around me. When I meet people on the street, most times when old friends meet their old friends, when friends meet their old friends, like past friends before, you don't want the people to sense any form of weakness or pitfalls in your life. So the first thing, how is life now? My brother, we thank God, God has been really faithful. Yeah. But that is one of the secrets to many downfalls, to poverty in most people's life. You claim what you are not. But now there is another person who you meet and you say, how is life? Say, my brother, we thank God though for life. It's just that for now, I don't really do anything. I just do graphic designs for people and they pay me. Sometimes I make 50K a month sometimes. But if I get something better, I'll be able to. I'm open to it. And they get help. But the other person is saying, we bless the name of the Lord. Life has been really awesome. In fact, last week I was in Bayelsa. We had to discuss a few things with one man. So I'm even planning to set up a studio. You have cut off help. You have cut off anybody that would have rendered some form of help to your life. So because I was transparent to my family, I was able to be transparent to outsiders. When I meet people, I tell them, I'm just an agent. I'm trying to see how I can find my way through the real estate space. And they say, oh, you do agent work? My landlord has a house, if you would like to. And I get a contract. Oh, my friend is looking for a house, and I get a contract. As opposed to before, I would have said, I'm just coming from Ghana. I studied in Ghana. I'm just coming from Ghana, and I'm hoping to go back to Ghana. I'm doing a business, all of that. But I was able to be open. So most firstborns, they become failures in life because, one, they assume external pressure and internal pressure. External pressure from society, internal pressure from mostly their parents to always be first at everything. You cannot be first at everything. Life is not a competition. As the firstborn, you cannot live life like it's a competition. And you cannot live your life to prove to society and your family that you must always be first. Learn to ask for help. Learn to accept the fact that you can be vulnerable and let people see it. Learn to open up to people about what situation is, and so that people can contribute their quota to your life and help you.